from a baseball life perspective, when you think of the Texas Rangers, this guy on camera right now is the epitome of the Texas Rangers. Mr. Grieve, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. It's a great time to be a Texas Ranger fan for sure.
You know, you're one of I say the Mount Rushmore of just Texas Ranger people. Did you ever envision this moment coming now? Because I know we've been through a couple of World Series and just you had some good teams in the 90s and just different things like that, but now, unexpectedly, this team is here. Did you ever expect this?
Well, I got here with the team in 1972, and the first 2 years we were here in the old ballpark, we drew 600,000 or 700,000 fans. Not very many fans. In fact, there were a lot of games where there was 3,000 or 4,000 people. We lost 105 games the first year, 100 games the second year. So even dreaming about a World Series back in the early 70s was a pipe dream. But as time went on, Billy Martin came here, and we had a second-place team. Bobby Valentine did the same thing. So there were moments where you got a feeling that it was possible and what it might be like. Then we went to the playoffs for the first time in the late 90s. Didn't do too well against the Yankees, but we made the postseason. And then everybody remembers 2011 and the crushing loss against the Cardinals. Came so close, went to the World Series twice. And then we fell on some hard times. And if you're honest with yourself, you probably say, well, was that time against the Cardinals, was that our best shot? Was that the best we're going to do? And lo and behold, Chris Young, Ray Davis put together this fantastic team. They had an outstanding season. They got to the postseason, and then it was no fluke. There was no doubt at the end of the World Series who the best team was, and that was the Rangers, and it's made a lot of people very proud.
I love it. So you mentioned a few players, and I just got to ask you, because you've seen every great player that's possibly come to the Rangers. I mean, Jeff Burrows, we're talking about Juan Gonzalez, MVPs like Pudge. But where does a guy like Corey Seager and Adolis Garcia go in this equation? Because, this guy's barely been here 2 years, and what he's done in such a short span has been unreal. Same thing for Adolis, a guy that had been DFA'd. Where do you put those guys amongst the Rangers' lore of, the all-time stuff?
Well, based on what they've done, even though it hasn't been for a long time, what they did this year puts them right at the top. I think when you look at Corey Seager, you're looking at a guy who you could argue is the best player in baseball. Now that sounds, how could he be the best? Well, when you watch him play, he's a Gold Glove shortstop. He almost won the batting championship. He gets big hits. He's completely prepared. He's a professional in everything he does. And the overall package, to me, makes him one of the 2 or 3 best players in all of baseball. So then when you look at overall Ranger history, puts him right near the top because he's that kind of player on the team that won the World Series. And Adolis, you can't say enough for him. I think one of the best things about Adolis is his heart and what he brings to the team. He looks like he's the inspiration behind the whole team. We've got a lot of great players and a lot of business-like players, but he's the one that shows the emotion. He's the one that I think gets the players to rise to higher levels than maybe they expected. So when you talk about those two guys, they'll go down in history, no matter what happens from here on out, as 2 of the greatest Rangers there ever was.
A few more questions. So, this Ranger team, from your just baseball eye, you've been in the front office, you've been a manager, you've done it all. Just from your eye, looking at this team going forward, obviously free agency, different things have to play a part. Do you see a potential dynasty in this team? Because a lot of people are thinking this team could be the next big thing in baseball.
Yeah, and I won't use the word dynasty. Who knows what's going to happen? But based on this season and the makeup of our franchise, there's no reason why we can't support a contending team for years to come. And I think that was the goal of the franchise. They spent a lot of money on players, and it looked like they're putting all their eggs in one basket to win now. But Seager, Semien are in great shape, even though they're entering their 30s. They're going to be here for a long time, and they're going to anchor this team. But I think when you look at the team and what gives you strong hope as you go 5, 6, 7 years down the road are the young players. Josh Young probably would have been the Rookie of the Year if he didn't get hurt. Everybody knows what Evan Carter did. Even though Leody Taveras had a disappointing postseason, that's a frontline player. He's a Gold Glove caliber center fielder who can run, and he's a really good young player. So when you look at, and you don't even mention Jonah Heim almost knocked in 100 runs. Nathaniel Lowe has been a Silver Slugger winner at first base and a potential Gold Glove winner. We've got 5 guys on the team that could win Gold Gloves. And, then last year we've had a couple of good drafts, so we still got good young players coming up. Veteran players who are in their prime, not on the way out, young players on the way up, and you put it all together. The key for the Rangers is going to be, will the young pitchers develop that are in the minor leagues right now? They've got a handful of them, 5, 6 of them. If those kids develop into frontline major league players, then I really like the future anyway, but that is the icing on the cake if they can develop the young pitchers.
I guess asking you being a guy that has managed a team and different things, just from an all-time perspective with Bruce Bochy. I mean, Ron Washington was great when he was here, you go through Johnny O's, rest in peace, just different guys that have been here. What Bruce Bochy has done in a year, can you talk about what that means and how hard that is to do? Because you've been in that position before to have to manage a team, but to actually win one in your first year, that's almost impossible. Seeing what Bruce Bochy has done with this team, what is your thoughts about that?
Yeah, and I think when you look at the job that Chris Young and the franchise did, signing players, drafting players, key trades at the trade deadline, the team that they put together. You can go individually. Was Montgomery the best deal? Was signing Seager the best deal? Was drafting Josh Young the best deal? All the things that they did. The best thing he did might have been talking Bruce Bochy out of retirement and coming back to manage the team. You can't put your finger on it, and you can't put analysis to it and say, hiring Bruce Bochy meant we won 15 more games than we would have won. You don't know that. But when you watch him day in and day out, you see him, you hear him talk post-game. You read about what he says in the newspaper. You hear what the players say about him. You look at the skins that he's got on his wall and what he did on other teams. And you watch him daily and the job he does. This guy's a spectacular manager. He's exactly what the team needs. When the players walk in the door, they know exactly what to expect. When it's the 7th inning, Josh Sborz is coming into the game. When it's the 8th inning, Aroldis Chapman's coming into the game. And there's times where people would say, boy, Marcus Semion's off to a slow start in the postseason. Would Bochy ever bat him lower? And the answer to that is not in a million years. That's our team. That's our lineup. If Bruce Bochy took Marcus Semien and changed his spot in the batting order, when the players walked in, there's a complete dynamic. Holy, Semion's not batting first. Whoa, the manager panicked. And that's the exact opposite of what Bochy is. Marcus Semien would have batted first whether he went 0 for 100. I mean, that's the way Bochy is, and that's why the players love to play for him. When they walk in the clubhouse, they know what to expect. They believe in their manager, and there's no surprises.
Love it. Last question. I know you've been asked this, and I know you're a humble guy. You're one of my favorite people to talk to, and I just think that it's only great. You're a Hall of Famer for the Rangers. If you did a Mount Rushmore for the Texas Rangers, and this is on the spot, and no answer is wrong coming from you. Nobody's going to debate Tom Grieve, right? But if you did one, who would be your 4 that you put on the Ranger Mount Rushmore? And look, you can be unhumble here and put yourself on there. You should be, but if you did a 4, in your opinion, who would be the 4 on this Ranger Mount Rushmore?
Well, that's a tough question. I don't know if I can give you 4, but Michael Young would be one of them. Pudge would be one of them. Nolan Ryan would be one of them. And I don't know if I'm going to give you a 4th, because I'm going to say there's probably 5 or 6 other guys that'll vie for that 4th spot. I'm going to tell you, start the wall, start chiseling, and start with those 3 guys. And by the time you finish with the 3rd one, I'll give you the 4th.
I love it. Well, Mr. Grieve, man, this is an honor and pleasure as a lifelong Ranger fan now covering this team. This is an honor to be able to talk to you in this matter. Congratulations.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks for having me, and it's a great moment to be a Ranger.
There we go. Thank you.